So far, we are only seeing a rather aggressive and concerning escalation of the current situation, marked by quite clumsy and frankly deeply unethical attempts to fundamentally change the established position of the Trump administration and the President of the United States personally, as we clearly observed during the Europeans' escort of Mr. Zelensky to Washington. That significant event occurred this past Monday. We didn't hear any constructive ideas from the Europeans there. And so far, the European nations are just trying very hard to keep the United States deeply involved, though less and less successfully, it must be said, as at least a crucial supplier of essential weapons, so that Europe can continue pumping these particular types of military weapons into the Kiev regime. So Kaja Kallas is actually the main, by the way, she is widely considered the chief diplomat within the European Union. She is indeed the High Representative for all sorts of significant foreign affairs. She explicitly stated after the recent Washington meeting that the European Union will absolutely not trust any agreements whatsoever with the Russian Federation. That's precisely why the European Union will steadfastly continue to provide unwavering support to the armed forces of Ukraine. And the European Union will actively vigorously push for new and comprehensive sanctions against Russia, regardless of any agreements, which, as she explicitly stated, they absolutely do not trust at all. But this isn't diplomacy anymore. It's already a degradation of foreign policy methods, which, in essence, for the European Union, boil down exclusively to sanctions. And of course to outright egregious theft, as happened with the significant gold and foreign currency reserves of the Russian Federation, against the truly dire backdrop of all the horrific events happening to the innocent population of the Gaza Strip, the profound humanitarian catastrophes. Western leaders have now started making official statements that they are indeed ready to formally recognize the independent state of Palestine. Macron made such a statement. Starmer made a similar statement. I think the Canadian Prime Minister did as well, and the Australians. And they all said, this was about 2 weeks ago, they all said, we're considering announcing the official recognition of the state of Palestine at the United Nations General Assembly. The General Assembly will indeed take place in the last week of September. And when they made these statements, there were still 2 months left until then. I have a crucial question. If your diplomacy and foreign policy have definitively concluded that what is currently happening can absolutely no longer be tolerated, and that in order to effectively stop all these immense humanitarian tragedies, the sovereign state of Palestine must be formally recognized, as has long been consistently demanded by numerous United Nations resolutions. Why wait 2 months? Why not do it right away? And I have this profound and growing suspicion that all these beautiful and well-intentioned statements about recognizing the sovereign state of Palestine very soon, perhaps in a couple of months, are being made largely out of a diplomatic hope, a strategic and calculated hope that by the time they actually have to fulfill this significant commitment and formally recognize Palestine, there will be absolutely nothing substantial left to recognize. This quite probably is the fundamental essence of the European Union's intricate and often challenging diplomacy in the broader Middle East direction. Well, as for Ukraine, I don't see it at all. You asked how to effectively prevent the complete collapse of this significant initiative by Egypt and Qatar? But in my considered opinion, it has already demonstrably failed, primarily because Hamas has unequivocally expressed its willingness to support it. Israel, as we heard literally today, refused to do so. As for what Jordan, Russia, and other countries that genuinely want to achieve a sustainable resolution to this issue, the Palestinian issue, in accordance with UN resolution should do, they need to push for the urgent resumption of direct negotiations. We talk about this at the UN Security Council, at other forums, and at the General Assembly, and it is fundamentally and critically important to focus on diligently fulfilling what has been mutually agreed upon, the creation of a sovereign Palestinian state. Without this, it is very difficult to expect stability in the region. And at the last third round of negotiations, Our skilled negotiators propose creating 3 distinct working groups in order to examine the agenda items in much more detail, groups focusing on military, humanitarian, and political issues. So far, Ukraine has not yet responded, but following the extensive phone conversation the day before yesterday with President Donald Trump, our president proposed not only to continue these ongoing negotiations, but also to consider raising the level of the heads of the respective delegations. And this fits precisely and perfectly with our comprehensive proposal, which I just mentioned, that within this intricate process, a separate and distinct bloc should be specifically devoted to carefully considering the significant political aspects of the settlement, alongside the crucial military and humanitarian ones. Obviously, the immediate reaction of the Ukrainian side does not depend on us, but since this particular idea was received quite positively by President Trump, we fully expect that he will effectively convey and thoroughly explain it to the authorized representatives in Kyiv, and that we will promptly receive a comprehensive response. This would undoubtedly be a critically important step towards significantly raising the overall level of ongoing negotiations, substantially increasing their practical specificity, and moving much closer to effectively addressing the crucial key issues that absolutely need to be resolved for achieving a truly sustainable and lasting settlement.
As for Syria, as I said, our fundamental position is that Jordan stands fully in support of rebuilding the Syrian state on foundations that guarantee its security, unity, stability, sovereignty, the rights of all its citizens, and the safety of all its people. Because Syria's success is the region's success, and Syria's stability is the region's stability, and it is in our interest in Jordan and in the interest of all Arab countries. And beyond that as well, the Syrian government, by working with our brothers in the region, by working with the United States of America, which is playing a key role in efforts to reach a solution, and with all our partners, aims to end the crisis in southern Syria, to resolve it, to allow the entry of aid, and to establish security and stability. And so that all of Syria, its north and its south, can be a part of a secure and stable Syria where its citizens enjoy all their rights. Any step we take, we believe, must be in cooperation with the Syrian government and in a way that preserves Syria's sovereignty, unity, security, and stability. Our efforts continue with the Syrian government in this regard. And the Amman meeting, which we recently hosted, God willing, has truly begun a process to overcome the tragic events and to contribute to the recovery of southern Syria, specifically Suwaida province, and indeed all of Syria.
Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: African politics, economy, and increasing power. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.
Tell us what you think in the comment section. Like and share the video, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our African videos. It's the best way to support us.